What's going on, Raider Nation? It is JT coming at you with another reaction video of the Raider Cast, a video episode of the Raider Cast, I guess you could call it. To say I'm just disappointed is a complete understatement. This loss was ugly. It was gross. The fact we only scored 2 touchdowns this entire game is atrocious. Our Daniel Carlson alone outscored the entirety of the offense. This feels like we're stuck in the Gruden era, except we don't have a hot start, and I'm not sure if we're gonna get the hot start a little later than we usually got it. I see a lot of people calling this like the midseason collapse, but at the start of the season with Gruden, I think this is just the team not playing how they should be playing. The defense right now, they did enough to win the game, I guess. They had a scoreless half for the Titans. They held them to 0 points. That's a pretty good, considering that the fact that they scored 24 in the first half and it could have been a lot worse. They kept us in the game. And honestly, with the talent we have in that defense, that's pretty surprising. When you're running a very disappointing D'Avine Diablo and Jayon Brown as your linebackers who are not playing it very well at all, we're desperately in need of Blake Martinez right now to replace Denzel Perryman. I don't know why we're waiting so long to sign him. This should have been done a week ago. Our linebackers are not good right now without Denzel Perryman. Deron Harmon's been playing pretty well. Nate Hobbs and Rocky Sin looked shaky the whole game. Amik Robertson made some plays, so he's been like the sneaky best player. I mean, Nate Hobbs, of today, I should say. He's been the sneaky best player of the last 2 weeks, really, of the cornerback group, other than Nate Hobbs. Hobbs obviously didn't have a great game today, I don't think, but he also came out, halfway through the game with a concussion or whatever happened. So if we're out him next week, that's gonna be very, very not good. Because Rocketson's been kind of somewhat disappointing. I don't know. The defense just looks talentless, and I think Patrick Graham's scheme is not the issue. I think it's the players executing the scheme. I don't think we have any good defensive tackles right now. Bilal Nichols has not stepped up. Jonathan Hankins looks Andrew Billings has looked like a solid run-stuffing defensive tackle, and that's it. We have no pass rush other than Max Crosby right now. So if Max Crosby's not getting pressure, there's no one else to pick up his slack if he's having a bad rep or whatever, which happens. You can't always win your reps. And I see people being mad at him, and it's like, I besides Nate Hobbs, the only player on the defense right now that's been playing at a good level is Deron Harmon, and maybe Amik Robertson, but even then he's had up and down plays. The only consistent starter that's better than Max Crosby right now, that has played all 3 games, is Deron Harmon, and he didn't even start the first game. It was Murray. So he's our entire defense at the moment, and I know I'm a stan, and he's definitely needs to do, I guess, better. In a way, like there's sometimes where he's very close to a sack and he just doesn't get it. But he's the reason why Deron Harmon got the pick. It was a bad throw by Tannehill because it was pressured out by Crosby, who hit him right after, and Harmon was in a great spot. It was a great play by Harmon and Max Crosby together. He makes plays. He had a ton of tackles. He was our leading tackler this game, and he had 9 tackles, 1 sack. It was a strip sack, actually. There's not much more you can ask from him. The next closest person was Rocky Sin with 6 tackles. Teamer had 5, and after that, it was like Diablo had 7. And he's playing the middle linebacker, and he only has 7 tackles. Like, are we serious right now? Like, again, thankfully, they picked it up in the second half, which I was expecting, honestly. Like, they had a bad first half, and I was like, okay, there's no way they have a bad second half, which if anything, I can appreciate from Patrick Graham. At least he gives us one good half of defensive football. But again, we held the other team to 24 points and kept it within range for the offense to do something. And we created turnovers. We stopped them many times in the second half, and we got nothing. That's the problem with this team. It is not the defense. If we had a competent offense right now, an offense that could actually score touchdowns, this defense would be like, oh my god. Everyone would be like, oh my god, this defense is great. This defense is helping us win games. They held down the Chargers and the Cardinals in back-to-back weeks. Though again, the Cardinals just shit the bed this week, so I guess, I don't know, something there, I guess. I don't know. But someone posted that Chargers are 1-2, Cardinals are 1-2, Titans are 1-2. The only teams they've beaten so far is the fucking Raiders. So, maybe we're just the worst team right now, which is hard to believe because of the talent that we have on offense and the talent we should have on defense, but all of our talent players on defense are hurt. Morig's hurt. Perryman's hurt. Hobbs is hurt. Diablo is not stepping up. Jalen Brown's not stepping up. Abrams been playing decent. Teamer's been playing as best he can. He's not supposed to be starting that much or playing that much, in all honesty. On our offensive side of the ball, the fact that Mac Hollins is our leading wide receiver is absolute insanity. You thought after the Chargers game, Davante Adams was going to feast, but no, he's been targeted. I think he was targeted 17 times that game, and he's been targeted 17 times since that game. Like, he's had the same amount of targets in 2 games as he did in 1 game, and not even close to him in the same amount of yards. Not even close. I just don't know what we're doing. And maybe he's not used to having so much defensive attention, which doesn't make sense, because he's had the same number of defensive attention his whole career. He's been almost his whole career, ever since he became a star, because the Packers never really had anyone else. And it's not like Mac Hollins isn't a threat. He played a really good game. Waller had bad drops today. Waller did not look into it today, which was very disappointing. That was one of the most disappointing things. And I can't blame Derek Carr. He played pedestrian football, and he had a couple plays that were dropped, especially a couple touchdowns by Waller dropped. So there's that. He could have had a 3-touchdown game for the first time in like 2 seasons. But again, another pedestrian game from Carr. We pass way too many times. We pass the ball way too much. It's like 75%, 25%, 75% passing, 25% running right now, which is not balanced. That should not be how it is at all. 26 for 44. We should not be passing 44 times in a game. Not that much, no. 303 yards. That's pretty good. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's pretty good. Mac Hollins was 1 for 1 for 4 yards. In passing. Mac Hollins was like the best player on the team overall. He had the pass. He had 158 fucking yards, a touchdown on 8 receptions. I mean, they have this. Mac Hollins and Davante Adams had the same number of targets. Hollins only had 3 more catches, but somehow he had almost over triple the yards. I don't understand how that's happening. Why are we not scheming Davante Adams wide open? We should be using these people as decoys for Adams. We should be doing just insane shit. I thought this was a offensive genius in McDaniels, but he's been failing. And why are we not using Josh Jacobs? It didn't even look like he was sick. He was averaging over 5 a carry this game. 13 attempts for 66 yards. Why are we not using him in the red zone? Even Bolden, 3 for 17. Carr was 2 for 17. Why are we giving Adams a jet sweep? I don't know. And maybe T. Billy on the sideline. Why are we not using T. Billy more to stretch the field? Why are we putting in Keelan Cole over T. Billy when we cut Keelan Cole but kept T. Billy, but we're not using T. Billy? What's the point of even having him? Why did we cut Keelan Cole then? What are we doing on the offensive side of the ball? And I have no issue with the defense because we're running on a talentless roster, and yet we're still holding teams to under 25 points, which is somewhat impressive, especially considering how terrible the offense has been. The Cardinals game, they scored 3.5 points. This game, they scored 10.5 points and proceed to score 12 in the next one, which is like, the hell? So many field goals. not enough touchdowns. There was so many opportunities for us to score touchdowns, but we just didn't, and it was so frustrating. Absolutely frustrating, and it should not have come. We easily could have beaten the Titan teams so easily. The defense sucked in the first half, but they stepped up in the second half. The offense just played the same they did the whole entire game, just blah. There was no improvement from the first half to the second half. It was almost like the same fucking team. The last drive was the most impressive drive, and we got lucky on a couple, penalties and stuff like that. Matt Collins just, catching that ball that was kind of a terrible throw. It was a weird throw. He tracked the ball perfectly and got 2 feet down. Like, it was the most acrobatic catch I've seen all season from any wide receiver, including Devontae Adams. And it was on a wonky deep ball on, 3rd and 15. And he caught it for, 66 yards. And he caught another one before that for, 20 or 30 yards, 40 yards. He just had insane catches. Ended with the touchdown, Moss over someone on 4th down, which was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then we do a stupid play call of a Waller up the middle when he's, quadruple covered. And he could have caught the touchdown earlier too, which was an issue. But why are we throwing to Waller then in the red zone at this point? He's dropped 2 touchdowns. Put fucking Foster Moreau in there. He had a great game. He was, 3 for 4 for 44 yards or something like that. 5 targets, 3 catches, 44 yards. It's a pretty solid game. That's a really solid game. Better than Waller, 3 for 22. That's disgusting. That's awful. Keelan Cole 1 for 12. Brandon Bolden 2 for 4. Adams 5 for 36. The week after he had 2 for 12. What the fuck are we doing? We have Devontae goddamn Adams on our team, and we're not using him? Why aren't we using him? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm tired of this coaching staff, and this says it all. We're 0-3 at the bottom of the goddamn league. The only team that has not won a single game. Chargers has lost the Jaguars by 28 points by 4 touchdowns. Cardinals just got wiped by the Rams in an ugly game. I don't even know. Chiefs just lost the Colts. The Colts? That looked like they lost to the Jaguars in Houston. It looks like Jaguars are pretty good. Houston's decent. They lost to the Bears, though, but it was last-second field goals, so whatever. But then they come out in a Gus Bradley scheme, by the way. Gus Bradley, who gave up 98 points to the Chiefs last year and held them to 17. They won by 3 points. Man, it's just, what the fuck are we doing? Should we have just kept the old staff? Kept Bisaccia, kept Olsen, kept Bradley, and just run it back? Maybe see what happens? Should we have kept Mayock, maybe get rid of Bisaccia, get Doug Peterson, who's doing really good in Jacksonville, with an even talentless roster than what we have? I don't understand. And the fact that there was a closed-door meeting today between Mark Davis and Josh McDaniels at least shows me that Mark Davis is like, dude, get your shit together, otherwise you're getting fired. I don't even care, which is great. And Ziegler should keep his job. I think Ziegler should stay. I think we got snake bitten by, a lot of people call him the snake, Josh McDaniels. Looking terrible in Broncos. Bailing out on the Colts. And then waiting a few years, and all of a sudden the Raiders are willing to hire him. He's like, sure. They got a good roster. They have a decent quarterback. Maybe I can show what I can do. And he can't do shit. I'm telling you that right now. He can't do shit on offense. Might as well have John Gruden back. It literally looked like the same exact offense. Just storm down the field and then go for a field goal. Could have won that in that way maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Not now. Especially not when you're down, 2 scores the whole game. Down 14 at the half. And you score 12. The entire half. And they score 0. So what the fuck? I don't even know where the team goes from here. I'm going to be honest. Don't know where they go from here. This division, I mean, this division's weird. Denver looks like dog shit as well, but I mean, that was kind of expected. It's Nathaniel Hackett, and he never really did anything in the league. They don't really have a ton of talent other than Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson's still, I think, a pretty good quarterback overall, but they don't have the roster right now, and they're hella injured. They lost Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton's banged up, Jerry Jeudy's banged up. Their defense does not look the same at all, although they have held, actually, they have, actually. The defense has looked really, really good. I haven't faced great teams, but they've been pretty good so far. I mean, can we win against the Broncos next week? Can we? Really? I don't know. We might be going 0-5 into the bye week, and Josh McDaniels might be going that bye week. Patrick Graham might be our head coach, our interim head coach. Or maybe we hire outside. Fuck it, give Patrick Graham a chance. Let's see what he can do. Does Mick Lombardi go too? Is Mick Lombardi the problem? And can he reinvent the offense? We could have had Mike McDaniel, I guess. He looks really fucking good. He's beaten Bill Belichick. He's beaten Sean McDermott. Beaten, was it John Harbaugh? Whichever Harbaugh is still in the league. I forget which one. All the time. I don't know why. Should we have hired Jim Harbaugh? Dabo Swinney, whatever his name is. Anyone else? I was upset about the hiring at the time. People were like, no, give him a chance. You know, he could be really good. You know, make Derek Carr really good. And I bought into it like a fucking idiot. A lot of people did. A lot of people in Raider Nation did. They believed. And I think that's what hurts the most, is that it's not the fact that we're 0-3. And I said this last week. We're winless with the roster that we have. The offense that we have. We haven't scored points with the... And if it was like the defense is giving way too much points, like we can't keep up or something like stupid shit like that, fine. Like 2020, sure. That was like Carr's best season since 2016 and probably his best season. That's his last good season, honestly, and it was wasted by a terrible defense. But they don't have this excuse this year. Sure, the teams are scoring an average of 24 points right now, or 23 whatever points, but come on now. Come on. We can win these games with the firepower we have on offense. I mean, yeah, Renfro was out, but look at Matt Collins. Look what he did. Why can't we do that with Devontae Adams? Why can't Devontae Adams have those Matt Collins days? Or Matt Collins had last week. Why is Matt Collins our wide receiver 1 right now? It just makes no sense. We targeted him 17 times the first game. Everyone's like, that's a bit too much. You know, maybe he got too hyper-focused. Now Carr's just throwing to Matt Collins. He's just hyper-focusing on someone else. It just doesn't make sense. It absolutely is abysmal. It's just so disappointing. We're not scoring points. Averaging like, what was it? Averaging 20 points a game, something stupid like that. 19 plus 23 plus 22 divided by 3. Averaging 21 points a game. Seriously? 3 touchdowns with this offense? People pointing at the O-line. Work around it. They give up pressure, so get the ball out. We saw that all preseason. We saw a bunch of dump-offs. We saw clean football, no penalties. What happened? What happened to that? I don't understand. We went 4-0 in the preseason. It looked clean. It looked crisp. We had no penalties the preseason, or very, very minimal penalties. Super crisp football. Very like, you know, run the ball, pass a little bit, run the ball, screen pass, stuff like that. What happened to that football? Why did we get away from that? It worked, and I know it's the preseason, but that's the McDaniels offense. He's trying to do something he's not. He's trying to make this offense something that it's not. You think, I mean, I made that video of the Tom Brady and Randy Moss equals Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. I guess not. Because they don't even have a connection right now. It's not that they have a connection we're losing. They don't have a connection other than the first game. And it's baffling. Make him wide open. Run the ball. Make them stack the box and get him open. Get him one-on-one. Why are we not trying to get him one-on-one? You can't just expect him to take on double teams all the time. You can't do that. It's not possible. It's not possible for him to win that way. Not possible. Same thing with, it's just everything. Just everything. Everything sucks. Everything fucking sucks. I can't enjoy the fact that Kansas City lost to the goddamn Colts. The Chargers just lost, got obliterated by, might I add, obliterated by the Jaguars. The fucking Jaguars. Khalil Mack hasn't looked the same since facing us in Statue Carr, who was, week 1 Statue Carr. He's gotten, I think, 0 sacks since then? Like, come on. We're making players look elite, and they have injuries now. They have Corey Linsley out, and they have, Derwin James is, like, in and out of being hurt, or he was hurt, or something like that, and, like, Joey Bosa just went down, and they're down, Keenan Allen was out for a little bit. Justin Herbert's dealing with rib injury. This is our time to win. We should have won this game. We would be in the same position as the Chargers right now, and probably the Broncos after tonight. And I wouldn't be so upset. This was the crucial point of our season to dig ourselves out of that 0-2 start and get ourselves going into the bye week, maybe 2-3, 3-2. Just pick up on the Texans, who are not an easy squad to beat. Then go to the Saints, who look like dog shit right now because they got beat by the Panthers. Then the Colts, who, again, don't look good. They somehow beat the Chiefs, but they don't look good. And then the Jaguars, who, I mean, I guess they're fucking great right now because they just beat the Chargers, like obliterated them. But again, that's not an impossible win. And I talked about this on the preseason show with NJ Radio Nation, who you should subscribe and follow. But I talked about this. This was a crucial game to win for the run that we're going to have. Possible run that I don't think we're going to have anymore. Can we beat the Broncos next week? And if we don't beat the Broncos next week, we're not beating the Chiefs. Not happening. Our defense can keep us in the game as much as we want. As this game was down to the wire. Why? Because the defense gave us the chance and our offense did not succeed. That is exactly what happened last season, except it was the opposite script. Our defense kept us in the game, but Carr led this amazing drive to end the game, and Daniel Carlson kicks a game-winning field goal. Or in the Ravens game, the walk-off touchdown. Because our defense is keeping us in the game. That's all you can ask for at this point. They kept us in the game the whole time. It's not like 2020 where, like, if we gave up, it was 24-10 at the half. It's like, all right, game over. Derrick Henry's, running over us. And he still did. 4.1 a carry. But 4.1 a carry after his start, he was cooking. And then we held him to nothing pretty much after the second half. And our offense did jack shit with it, which is the most frustrating thing I've ever seen. Imagine being on that defense, finally getting the stops, finally getting the picks, getting the sacks and stuff like that. Well, the 2 sacks, which is bottom of the league, by the way. Max Crosby has 2 of them. Ugh, that's disgusting. But imagine being on that side of the ball, and then the offense goes down and scores 3 points when you're down 2 scores. How does that make you feel? And then you're like, oh shit, I gotta go back out, and maybe the offense will score, or maybe they'll punt or get intercepted. Like, it's just disgusting football. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. It's like, I have no hope anymore. Well, I went into this week, I was like, I'm not going to get hyped up. And I got a little hyped up going into the game because my friends in real life were like, oh, Raiders are winning that game. They're going to blow out the Titans. People online are like, oh, the Titans should be easy. They're really good. If I had to put $100 on it, I would have said the Raiders should have won this game. The Titans look like dog shit heading into this week. Absolute scummy team. Losing to the fucking Giants. Even if they won that game, it was by 2 points. They missed a field goal. They got demolished by the Bills. They look atrocious. And we made them look good. Both on defense and on offense. But not even on offense, because then they got stopped. But on defense, we made them look so good. And they're not a good defense. They're not. They're missing Bud Dupree, who was a good pass rusher. They're missing Taylor Lewan, and Chandler Jones did jack shit all game. I'm just fucking done. This has been a rant and a half. Longer than last week. So I hope if you stuck around, I appreciate you. And I hope, you enjoyed my rant. And, let me know down in the comments what you got to say. Because I do want to hear what you have to say. How you guys feel right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be posting more, injury updates, you know, whatever videos, maybe more collabs with people if I can figure out how to make it actually look, you know, good and have face cam and stuff like that. But technology is a bitch right now, so I'm doing my best. But I hope you guys appreciate and like the video. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Try to enjoy the rest of your night, Raider Nation. I appreciate and love all of y'all. Hopefully we end this season on at least a positive note. But anyways, peace out, Raider Nation.